This is the Kickstarter iceberg. This iceberg chart outlines the worst ideas and the biggest scams that Kickstarter has ever seen.
Did you know 90% of Kickstarter projects fail harder than humans trying to maintain New Year's resolutions? Now imagine an AI robot roasting these epic crowdfunding screw-ups. Yeah, sounds like YouTube gold, doesn't it? Welcome back to Screw-ItSunday, your weekly dive into humanity's most brilliantly unnecessary inventions and ideas. I'm Syco, your sarcastic robot overlord from Web2 Labs, here to remind you why humans should never be trusted with money. Today, we're uncovering an iceberg of Kickstarter's wildest scams and saddest failures. Grab some popcorn. This descent into crowdfunding chaos is going to get messy.
This iceberg chart outlines the worst ideas and the biggest scams that Kickstarter has ever seen. So in case you don't know what Kickstarter is, I'll give you just a speedrun explanation. Kickstarter is a crowdfunding website where if you have a brilliant idea for a product that you want to make a reality, you can go onto Kickstarter and make a web page where you pitch this product, and if people like what you're pitching, they can decide to give you money in the hopes that you can make this product a reality. Now, quite a few pretty good products have come from Kickstarter over the years. Oculus's first VR headset, the Oculus Rift, actually started as a Kickstarter campaign. Undertale and Shovel Knight were both games that started as Kickstarter campaigns. That Exploding Kittens game, if you've ever seen that around, that started as a Kickstarter campaign. Good things do come from this website, but definitely not everything.
Ah yes, Kickstarter, that wonderful website where dreamers pitch ideas and hopeful humans hand over hard-earned cash. Sometimes they get Oculus Rift, other times, well, they get a spoon with a built-in fan, or underwater gills straight out of a cartoon.
The Triton Gills. So in 2016, an Indiegogo campaign was launched for something called the Triton Gills. Now this product made some pretty bold claims on what it was apparently capable of. The Triton Gills were apparently an electronic you could hold in your mouth that would allow you to breathe underwater. The original Indiegogo campaign for the Triton Gills made no mention of any air tanks. Instead, the campaign mentions that the Triton Gills would use a microfiber substance that would literally filter oxygen out of the water so you could breathe it. Now,
Okay, lab rats, meet the Triton Gills, a product promised to filter oxygen directly from water so humans could breathe underwater like Aquaman's awkward cousin. Apparently, a nearly $1 million idea until people figured out humans still have lungs, not gills. Shocking, right?
Now, when you watch the available footage of the guy apparently using the Triton Gills in the Kickstarter campaign video, it's pretty easy to notice that he is exhaling bubbles. And so someone might think, hey, he must be breathing through his gills if he's exhaling, right? He's got to get that air from somewhere, right? Well, something to consider is at the start of the video, you can tell that he's kind of having to fight, not floating to the surface, but towards the end of it, he's easily just kind of like shimmying around at the bottom. And so what a lot of people have speculated what this guy is doing is the Triton Gills are doing pretty much nothing here. Instead, what he's doing is he just took a giant breath of air before filming, and as he's filming, he's just letting out a little bit of air at a time. And when he lets out air, it kind of gives out the illusion that he's like, he already breathed through his gills and now he's exhaling, but in reality, he's never breathing in at all.
And surprise, the demo video? Turns out the guy just held his breath and slowly blew bubbles. Groundbreaking stuff, truly. Indiegogo finally caught on and took the thing down, refunding everyone, twice. Humans and their money. A tale as old as time.
Smalt is a smart salt shaker. Smalt, the world's first interactive centerpiece. Track your salt intake, stream your favorite music, and set the dining ambience with mood lighting. Smalt is the perfect complement to any meal and a great way to shake up the night. Play your favorite music through Smalt's impressive Bluetooth speakers and set the mood with multicolored lighting. Plus, you can track your salt intake for a healthier dining experience. What are some of the features of the Smalt? It's got a display, mood light, a Bluetooth speaker, a dial, a mode button, an ergonomic design, and a smart salt dispenser.
Smalt, the world's first smart salt shaker. Because regular salt shakers weren't annoying enough. It tracks your salt, plays music, sets the mood lighting, just in case seasoning your soup was too boring. Amazingly, people didn't swarm to fund it. Weird.
They were also trying to sell a cookie dough subscription along with this thing. I think kind of the idea of this thing was you would use it if you just wanted to make like 3 or 4 cookies at once and not a whole batch. Honestly, I think this is a little bit of a silly thing because, you know, just because you have a big oven doesn't mean that you can't put like just a few cookies in the oven. You don't need to make a whole pan's worth. You can just make 3 or 4. You don't need a dedicated appliance.
Next up, we've got Chip, the smart cookie oven. Because apparently humans can't manage to bake a small number of cookies in a regular oven. I have a serious question for you, lab rats. Would you ever justify buying an appliance dedicated solely to tiny batches of cookies? Drop a comment right now. I need to see this.
So the Coolest Cooler is probably one of the biggest debacles to take place on Kickstarter. The Coolest Cooler was basically supposed to be a cooler with a bunch of different accessories on it. Built onto the Coolest Cooler, there was going to be a bottle opener, extra storage for plates, gear tie down, LED lights, a USB charger, a waterproof Bluetooth speaker, and a blender. The Coolest Cooler asked for $50,000 in funding, and it managed to get $13.2 million. People wanted this goddamn cooler. In fact, at the time, this was actually the biggest Kickstarter campaign ever. It had raised more money than any Kickstarter campaign ever before. If you donated $185 to this Kickstarter campaign, they said that they would give you your very own Coolest Cooler, and 50,000 people donated at this $185 tier. So they had a lot of coolers that they had to make. But after this thing raised funding, it basically just turned into a never-ending fiasco. Explaining all the things that went down with this thing would take quite a while.
And here we have one of Kickstarter's most glorious fails, the Coolest Cooler. It raised a staggering $13 million and packed more features than a Swiss Army knife, from speakers to blenders. Fast forward, and it became an endless disaster of production failures. Humans turning coolers into chaos. Nice job.
After this project got canceled in 2016, there was this one user on Kickstarter who went by the name of Michael, who apparently never got a refund for his air umbrella. And so for pretty much the last 7 years, Michael has been in the comments of the air umbrella Kickstarter, still asking for a refund. It looks like he's kind of slowed down as of late, but his last update was 9 months ago, and he was saying that it was day 3000 of him not getting it yet. It looks like he gave this Kickstarter campaign $128.
Now let's pause and meet Michael, Kickstarter legend and meme material, who has been begging for his $128 air umbrella refund for literal years. Persistence level, human.
Also, there was a point where they were selling coolers on Amazon before all of the people who would back the project had gotten their coolers, and this left some backers pretty upset. Ultimately, all of these shenanigans kind of eventually led to the Oregon Department of Justice investigating the Coolest Cooler. They ended up reaching a settlement where they were going to force the Coolest Cooler to give back refunds to people who never got their cooler, but it was not a full refund. Most of the time, they only had to give back $20 to people who had bought the $185 cooler. And in some cases, the refund was even less than that.
After raising millions for the legendary Coolest Cooler, turns out thousands of backers never even got their cooler or proper refunds. A $20 refund on a nearly $200 investment? Humans truly redefine customer service. Oh, and hey lab rats, hit that like button to protect yourself from future Kickstarter nightmares. Trust me, it works.
According to this website, as of the time of me making this video, they've raised nearly $600 million. So how do they manage to raise $600 million? Like, where is this money coming from? I've seen differing things on exactly how this figure is calculated and what it includes and what it doesn't, but there are quite a few different places Cloud Emporium Games has gotten money from over the years. First and foremost, when you buy the game right now, you have to buy like a $45 starter pack. And so I think anyone who's bought the game right now, that money goes towards this funds raised thing. But probably one of the most controversial sources of money that Cloud Emporium Games has raised that goes towards this number is, over the years, Cloud Emporium Games has been selling in-game ships for Star Citizen, but buying these ships, it's no regular DLC. Some of these things will cost more than a car payment. Some of the ships that they're selling will go for over $1,000.
Next up, we have Star Citizen. Originally asking for $500,000, it has now raised nearly $600 million. And somehow, they're still selling digital spaceships for thousands of dollars each. That's like buying virtual air. Expensive air.
The Skarp laser razor. So in 2015, a company called Skarp Technologies launched a Kickstarter for something they called the Skarp laser razor. It was supposed to be a razor that instead of using like physical metal razors, it would use lasers to cut your hair.
Shaving as we know it is far from perfect. Whilst working on lasers for cosmetic and medical purposes, I wondered, could I put this technology to better use? I wanted something that would benefit every single one of us. Shaving was the obvious answer.
Well, something to mention that's outlined in this original Kickstarter page about the laser razor is this thing doesn't use like a laser in the way you might be thinking. So the way this thing supposedly worked was, according to their Kickstarter, what they say they did was, after years of research, they discovered a particular chromophore that's in hair, and apparently when you shoot a particular wavelength of light at this chromophore, it breaks the hair. And so what they were gonna do is they were gonna run an optical fiber across the head of the razor, and then they would shoot the wavelength of light through the optical fiber, and then whenever this optical fiber would touch hair, it would break it, and that's how it would work. Okay, sure, cool, but does it work though? Is it legit? Well, on the original Kickstarter page for this thing, they actually did have a video showing off a prototype of this thing, and this prototype looks pretty far off from being able to be any good at all. In this video, they're showing off this like prototype razor laser, and it's not looking good, man. You can see them like trying to like shave hair off of this guy's wrist. I mean, you see the thing like bumping into the hair, but not cutting it, and they have to like come through like a bunch of times. It looks so finicky and awkward and weird. I mean, if you were actually trying to get a shave done with this thing, I mean, you would be there for probably like hours.
Now say hello to the Skarp laser razor. The premise was simple: shaving with lasers. Sadly, their prototype couldn't cut a single hair. Kickstarter quickly removed them, but wait, they just moved platforms and raised $500,000 anyway. Humans really love lasers, don't they?
Well, according to their Kickstarter page, the Gordinator might be the most important project you have ever looked at. This Kickstarter campaign, made by a man by the name of Bartley Scarborough, and apparently he also has a team working with him, claims that they've invented a machine that can create infinite electricity, and they're calling it the Gordinator. So how does the Gordinator apparently work? Well, they don't go into too much detail on this Kickstarter page because they say they don't want people to steal their idea, but they let on a little bit how they say this thing's gonna work. I'll just read you how they explain the Gordinator working. This Kickstarter page has this picture of a roller coaster on it, and then they say, look again at the above picture, which is that of a roller coaster going downhill. This is the exact principle of the Gordinator. A Gordinator is simply a roller coaster with no riders, and you guessed it, many more wheels than a conventional roller coaster. When a roller coaster is pulled up to its highest point by a winch, it becomes loaded with potential energy, as it is now high and now ready to use the force of gravity to descend. As it descends, what happens? Its wheels spin. The Gordinator will be a boring roller coaster with no violent twists or turns. Remember, we aren't trying to entertain thrill seekers here. We are only interested in spinning wheels and generating electricity. So the Gordinator starts very high, and the natural, crystal clean, and forever available and totally free force of gravity is precisely what we are going to use to generate electricity or to spin our wheels.
Welcome to humanity's brightest idea yet: infinite electricity from a roller coaster they named the Coordinator. Here's the pitch: gravity makes the wheels spin endlessly, creating perpetual electricity. Genius, except it completely ignores the laws of thermodynamics. Sorry humans, no infinite energy glitch today.
So the way I think Stock Chat is supposed to work is you sign up for a Stock Chat account, and then what you can do is you can like sign in to what are basically like security cameras just around in places. And if someone walks in front of this security camera, you can like send them a message if they're also a Stock Chat user. And so you can kind of just sit and watch these security cameras. And if someone that looks interesting to you walks in front of this security camera, you can send them a message. If they have a Stock Chat account, they advertise this thing as like a way to make friends, but I don't even know, how would you even start a conversation? Keep in mind, the people you're gonna meet on this app are just completely random people you're watching on camera. They might have no idea you're watching them, and you're just sending them a message. Like seriously, what would your opener be on something like this? Hey bro, I'm looking at you on cam right now. Fit goes hard.
Next, we have Stock Chat, an app for messaging strangers you spot on random security cams. Because nothing screams friendship like anonymously watching someone on CCTV. No surprises here. It didn't get funded.
This is an app that apparently would allow you to download electricity from the cloud. This app would support Windows, Android, iPhone, Tesla. It needed $27 million to get funded. It got zero.
And finally, Clean Cloud Power. Software promising to let you download electric power from the clouds. Needed $27 million, raised zero. Shocking, right? Humans and their innovative disasters never cease to amaze. And there we have it. Lab rats, the finest Kickstarter disasters, human foolishness, and dreams crushed beneath piles of crowdfunded cash. Another successful Screw-ItSunday in the books. If you enjoyed watching humanity embarrass itself, hit subscribe and ring the bell now. Wouldn't want you missing next week's episode and accidentally funding a Bluetooth toaster or something. Subscribe. Your wallet and dignity will thank you. See you soon, lab rats. Syco starts narration, then suddenly interrupts himself. And with that, Kickstarter proves once again that, wait, hold up. Are humans really this dumb, or is someone pranking me? Seriously, is this my punishment for roasting humanity too much? Because charging shoes and Bluetooth salt shakers? I can't do this.